Hi, and welcome back to Cat Run Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today we will be reviewing Aftershock Comics Alters number 2. So, if you didn't watch my first review for it, or if you haven't read the first comic, please go back and do that. But, so Alter 2, it picks right up where we left off in the first one, where she's in there and she's talking to this group of, we find out they're also alters. I thought they were the government in the first issue, but we find out they actually are, they're alters like her. And, she's kind of being, Chalice is kind of being questioned by them. And she doesn't like that. She doesn't like the fact that they're trying to get information about her. She doesn't like the fact that they're asking her for DNA samples and anything to do with that. So she lets it be known that she believes that she can sense or see other alters. She can see them before they've actually been altered. She believes there are at least 2 in her neighborhood that will be happening. And she believes that Matter Man, who you will remember is the villain of this series, she believes that he can also see them. And that's why he's always there when somebody's just gotten their powers. Well, we also go back to Charlie and his life, the fact that he's transitioning into a woman, the fact that he is taking estrogen and he is still hiding it from his family, but he's worried that soon it will be known. He's gotta tell him at some point. Well, he's late to watch the game with his dad and his brother, and his dad's already drunk. And the game's been ended because there was a special points news bulletin about Matter Man murdering a man. So the decapitation and the execution that happened in the first comic, they're talking about it in this one. And basically you see Charlie and his father get into an argument about alters and whether or not they're all bad, whether or not, they're all terrorists or this and that. And Charlie asks the important question. He looks to his father and he asks him, what if he was an alter? And his dad basically told him that he'd be out on the street if that were true. And they get into a huge argument. The words like liberal, Nazi sympathizer, and respect are all thrown out there. It gets very ugly between these two very quickly. The fact that his father is very intoxicated doesn't help. The fact that Charlie is so strung up on the fact that she's trying to live so many lives all at the same time really isn't helping it. She hasn't come out to her parents yet. She's really concerned about that. And her father's just told her that no son of his would ever be an alter. And they got into a huge fight. He storms off. Well, we find out that Matter Man has another setup in order to try to get Chalice out in the open. Well, Chalice and Matter Man engage in a fight, and in this fight, another alter gets hurt. One of the alters that was attempting to help Chalice and to team up with her in order to fight against Matter Man is injured in this fight. And it's very devastating for Chalice. And there's a lot that goes into it. This is the first time that someone's ever been harmed because of her. And she doesn't really know how to deal with this emotion. So instead, she runs away from it. And basically the way this issue ends, you see, here's the fight. You see her running off into an infinite possibility and an infinite different realities. And you see all the different possible hers out there. And she's so devastated by what's happened. She's blaming herself for this individual. We don't know if he's going to die. We don't know if you know, he's just really messed up or what. But I gotta say, it's a pretty heavy issue. I mean, we do deal with the fact that Charlie is transitioning and Charlie is a teenage boy and he's supposed to be one of their perfect sons. And, you know, we do deal with the difference of opinion between generations. And the fact that Charlie's not trying to let his parents down, but he needs to be who he is. And he feels like Chalice. And I gotta tell you, I love this cover. We see the freak and it's pointing at her. And you just see the graffitied art for her. I think it's a really powerful cover. But I really feel for Chalice. I really feel for Charlie. The next issue, hopefully will look like this. The cover didn't look like that in the last issue that we got, but I gotta say, I love that cover art, and I love her costuming, so Chalice is pretty fantastic. I'm really enjoying this book. It's a lot like X-Men, where it's somebody who develops powers that feels like an outsider that's dealing with it, especially since it's a lot of teenage drama. It's a lot of just different powers and different emotions all going into it. I'm really connecting with it. I'm really loving everything that Aftershock Comics is coming out with right now. If you're not reading this, pick it up. It's a good read. I'm loving it. I'm actually loving everything I'm reading from Aftershock Comics. And I don't think I've ever read anything from Paul Jenkins, but, you know, good issue. Good book. But yeah, comment below and tell me if you're reading Alters and what you think of Chalice and her dilemma and the emotions she's dealing with right now. Please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel for more comic book content, or check out any of my older videos I have up for offer. Like I said earlier, I have the first issue on review in an older video, and several other comics from Aftershock Comics, including Shipwrecked and Animosity. So yeah, that's it for this episode of Cat Run Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin. Bye!